Hello, everybody. This is Thais Vieira. I'm a doctor in production engineering, but from my main profession, I'm a designer. Actually, nowadays, I'm a teacher at Federal University of Espírito Santo. And I'll show you this paper with the title Inclusive Circular Economy, an Approach for Emerging Economies. Well, we're talking about circular economy that is a systemic change that builds resilience in the long term and creates business opportunities and innovative solutions for the economy, providing an environmental and social improvements. However, circular economy guidelines do not include how to deal with systemic design of circular relations, involving the low-income populations as promoters and actors of sustainable development imperative in emerging economies such as Brazil. This paper investigates the lack of theoretical and practical structures in the convergence between circular economy and design. It proposes a literature review of the circular economy concept and guidelines, and a brief evolutionary description of the approach of design for sustainability. And also presents Brazilian case studies to discuss the power of organized vernacular action for the inclusion and social development of the marginalized members of society. This paper is based on the ideas developed on the ongoing thesis research developed in the postgraduate program in design of the Federal University of Pernambuco in Brazil. Well, we are going to discuss the paradigm change from linear systems to circular economy. Well, linear system follows the logic of take, make, and dispose, uses a large amount of resources and energy, and is not directly involved with the issues of the territory. For this, what happens is the rapid degradation of the environment and its natural system, stimulating the inconsequential waste. In the other side, the circular economy embraces the idea of systemic thinking and considers the complex relationship between choices and results. And it may be considered an umbrella concept whose roots are in the schools of thoughts of regenerative design, performance economics, cradle to cradle, industrial ecology, and so on. Circular economy proposes as principles eliminating waste and pollution, maintaining products and material in constant cycles of use, and regenerating natural systems. These principles concentrate firstly on dematerializing production whenever possible, mitigating the entropy caused by the intervention of human activities in the natural system, diluting the use of the energy used in the transformation of the raw material and use of products, and using materials natural and artificial in subsequent cycles. Well, the guidelines for circular economy are 5. Design without residue, that means that talks about biological material, that biological materials can be composted, and technical materials such as polymers, alloy, and other synthetic materials are designed to be reused with minimal energy and higher quality retention. Another guideline creates resilience through diversity, talking about modularity, versatility, and adaptability that are characteristics to be prioritized. The third guideline is use renewable energy sources. That means to prioritize renewable energy and avoid energy from non-renewable resources. The fourth guideline is thinking in systems. That means understand how the parties influence each other within a whole and the relationships of the whole with the parts. Systemic thinking refers to non-linearity, feedback, interdependence. And the last guideline is waterfall thinking, meaning processes feed other processes in a circular way. Well, design for circular economy is, in order to think in a circular way, design must use systemic thinking and ability to manage sets of elements that may have at first appear disconnected or even irrelevant. Systemic skills and thinking are being explored at varying levels of breadth and depth through design approaches that addresses sustainable development issues. Design for circular economy also must, about this also, we can say that since the 90s of the 19th century, 20, design was expanded in scope of action. First addressed to environmental and economic issues, now evolved in complexity, encompassing in its attention spectrum the social dimension, nurturing multidisciplinary knowledge that has culminated in its system performance. One of the ways design evolved was using or exploring product service system. When design proposes the union of products with services for the satisfaction of human needs and extends its performance to the development of multi-actor satisfaction systems, known as Product Service System, or PSS. Society is changing ways of life and consumption from individualistic and centered tendencies to collective and centered in human being. This approach radically subverts the historical whole of design, which shifts from being a product designer to a developer of systemic solutions, paving the way for the emergence of approaches such as design for social innovation, system design, and system design for transition and innovation. Now we are going to talk about the core of the paper, that is the circular economy in emerging economy contexts. In emerging economies, there are many examples of circular economy programs, especially in the recycling of solid waste. But there, the concept of circular economy transcends the industrial perimeter and moves to other layers of society, especially in the ones located at the base of the pyramid, cases of inclusive circular economy. Spontaneously emerge among marginalized population, which finds in the search, selection, and recycling of industrial residues its main source of income. Well, the first case we're going to talk about is the one we called Mecomadeiras Remanufaturadas. There is a case that we're going to explain. You can see in the picture. We are going to tell the story from topics in numbers. The first would be that several car manufacturers in the metropolitan region of Curitiba uses solid wood pellets whose responsible destination are included in the solid waste management programs. Number two, this wood is sold at a symbolic price to a cooperative responsible for transforming the pallets into new products and commercialize it. That should be Meco Madeiras. And the third one, the wood pieces not used by them are donated to a craftsman from Curitiba, that, as you can see over there, Leo Lepri, who manufactures small solid wood products for Bendito Banho, a family-owned artisan company that operates in the personal care and perfumery sector. And in the last topic would be what Bendito Banho created a product service system that include recharges of aromas for environment, avoiding premature discarding, thus contemplating the principles of circular economy. The second case would be Gabriela Mazepa, a young fashion designer that born also in Curitiba, that is now living in São Paulo, but already worked in Rio, where she developed a fashion collection from textile waste inspired by the stories and traditions coming from the residents of Cidade de Deus, a community where people with very low purchasing power live. The garments were produced with the participation of workers from the Ozami cooperative, gave the small local producers an opportunity, but also presented their collection parade by young people from the same community, valuing their beauty and paying justly, fair trade, strengthening their self-esteem. These examples illustrate the transformative capacity for integrating low-income population in the process of circular economy and its positive effects on sustainability, especially in peripheral countries and regions of socioeconomic vulnerability. UNIDO points to these as a virtuous directions and emphasizes the possibility of inclusive circular processes in assisting socio-ethical sustainable development and reducing social inequality in emerging economies. This is still not detailed in the circular economy guidelines. Well, for this paper, our conclusions are: the non-observance of social impacts when adopting the circular economy initiative affects its efficiency. To achieve sustainable development, it is more important to integrate man in this process than looking at the relationship between the environment and the economy, since it is this man that will structure and strengthen these relationships, using as platforms their habits, their beliefs, their culture, and their values. Sustainability is based on the balance between the three basic pillars and, above all, social equity. Therefore, in order for the circular economy to be really an alternative to linear economics, it is imperative to also pay attention to the human being, and this obvious results in an increase in the complexity of the system with the involvement of subjective issues inherent to the human species, requiring thoughts and complex system actions. The examples presented in this paper confirm the validity and importance of the inclusion of the social pillar in circular economy system, especially in countries as Brazil, where the residues are used as a way of subsistence. It is necessary to adopt measures that bring the social dimensions of fundamental pillar from systemic and circular design. Thank you very much.